Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on.
Hey, looky here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
So that's probably the first time that our good friend Dax Holt from Hollywood Pipeline ever heard our intro for our podcast. Is that true, Dax?
That is the very first time. I like it.
That's great because he's never listened to our podcast.
Listen, I am a very busy guy, and I get you firsthand.
I'm busted. That's awesome. You got to turn your mic on. Hold on. We're trying a different setup. So now you can see both of us.
This is also the first time I've seen your new setup in there, and it's also the first time I've actually seen Pat because he always hides behind the computer.
That's right.
You got to see the onion, didn't you?
Oh, I haven't sent Dax a picture of my onion in a long time.
I don't know what that means. I'm not sure I want to see it.
It's your butt. Don't you ever look at your butt in the mirror?
I get. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time.
Well, no, but when you're ever walking by, you're like, wait a
second.
second.
In passing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it this way. This is something Pat's done. When you're in Walgreens and they've got those big angled mirrors up high.
Yeah.
You haven't actually just kind of looked over your shoulder.
Catch a picture of your onion. Just looking at, because those mirrors are angled, perfect. Like you're supposed to have the up angle, so you look fantastic all the time.
I kind of have a baby onion, so I'm not sure. Mine's more like a shallot.
A shallot.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
That's funny.
So what have you been up to, man? We haven't talked to you for a while.
I know, been very busy, just all over the place. Just got back from Vegas. I was out there for a couple days, hanging out, getting away. Went and saw. By the way, I saw the new Shin Lim show, the winner of AGT.
Oh
yes.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, he doesn't call himself a magician. He calls himself a sleight of hand artist. But
He's insane.
He's a damn wizard, is what he is.
He is.
It's unbelievable. His
Honestly.
show really good. So he won AGT season 13. Then went back and did the champion season. So it's like all the winners of previous seasons and around the world and everything.
Like best of show.
He won that one.
Wow.
So now he has a new show at the Mirage. And I mean, listen, you go from nobody to a residency at the Mirage. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, went and saw it. It was really just a great show. Really enjoyed it.
Wow. How long were you in Vegas then?
4 days.
That's about right.
That's a bit of a long time after a little bit.
I'm like, 3 days is usually my go-to. Is 3 days, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. Did you win any money? Did you gamble?
We didn't really gamble too much. We did a lot of sightseeing, and we walked. And I think we did 10 miles every day of just walking up and down the strip, looking at all the cool stuff, going through all the different malls. It was a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Did you get downtown?
No, didn't go downtown. We stayed mostly around the strip. That's about it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good. It's a good little getaway. For you in particular, I'm sure the flight's got to be like a snap, huh?
I'm not even joking you. It is so fast. We took out of Long Beach. My wife and I looked at the back of the Delta magazine, and there was a Sudoku or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's race. We couldn't even finish it before the plane was landed.
I don't understand Sudoku though. I don't understand
because there's
it.
math.
I don't get it.
There's a lot of math.
It seems like the worst possible way to pass time.
Can you count to 9? That's it. That's
Who
all
wants
you
to do
gotta know.
math for fun on a plane? Get a
It's not
shooter,
math.
get a shooter fireball and call it a day.
You can count up to 10 each in each row and in each little box, or up to 9, not 10.
Let me ask you this. Do you play Toon Blast?
Toon Blast? No. You know
Okay.
what I'm really enjoying though?
What?
Rummy Cube. You ever played that?
No.
No, let me guess. A division,
Oh,
long division
so
game.
fun.
It's long division, yeah.
It does have to do with numbers. So
Does it?
Let's count Pat out of this
What?
one.
Okay.
What is that game?
That one, it's all these little tiles, and you have to match them by color or by counting up, like in a row. I don't know. It's really fun. And there's 4 people that can play, and you're putting the tiles on the table, and you can remove someone else's tiles. I'm not doing this any justice. It's just a really fun game. Trust me.
All right, I'm downloading it right now.
Rummy Cube. All right.
Yep. I've got it right now. I'm going to try it out. Cool. All right, so what's been catching your eye lately?
No, it's been, you know what? There's been a lot of like movie sets that the Paps have been getting their hands on. Number one was, I don't know if you guys saw this the other day, but it was Jennifer Hudson. She is in New York filming the new Respect movie, or RESPCT movie. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if you're supposed to spell it or say it. Aretha Franklin's life.
I hope it's just say respect, because have you seen RSPECT? Like, that would be really hard to say to everybody.
That's Pat's second hate is spelling.
I hate math and spelling. And I can't build so.
But really, you know, like, because my whole life, it's like they've spelled out that word for the song. So if you're saying the word because of
that's
the
a good
song,
point,
right?
There's not periods in between each letter. So I don't know. It's either respect or RSPCT. I don't know. But it looks like it's going to be pretty good. And then Marlon Wayans in that movie, but they were filming all over New York. Jennifer Hudson has definitely like embodied Aretha. And on that note, there's no one else on the planet that could actually fill Aretha's shoes and sing other than Jennifer Hudson.
Right, like she had that role no matter what.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. That's it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to definitely, I
Yeah.
am looking forward to seeing that. Any other movie news that's hot?
The other movie that a lot of people getting excited for is, sorry, my phone's ringing over here.
It's all right.
So professional.
We're good.
Is Eddie Murphy for Coming to America, Coming the number 2 America. So it's the sequel to Coming to America.
After what, 30 years now? Has it been 30 or
it's like
35?
something
Shouldn't it
crazy,
just be I've been in America?
Been there, done that in America?
I'm in
Returning
America?
to America
Yeah.
again.
Again?
But he's getting back as his role as Prince Akeem and coming to look for his like long lost son or something like that. But it looks like it's, you know, people see him in his costume and freak out. They're
I
just-
bet. That was one of my favorite movies
I was
growing
going
up.
to say
I love
that's
that movie.
a lot of memes from that movie, definitely. And I honestly, for his sake, I hope it works. I really do. I want to see him have a big. I like him.
And what was the restaurant? It was McDowell's, right? Not McDonald's, but it had like the
McDowell's.
M. It wasn't like
That
the Arches. It
does
was an
sound familiar.
M, and it was the
Yeah.
that McDowell's was the restaurant. Yeah, I was a
And
fat
didn't they
kid,
do a
so-
pop-up shop of that? Like,
Yeah, that'd be
a couple
great.
years back?
That would be
Did
awesome.
somebody did?
Yeah, I think they did like a pop-up restaurant of that.
Oh, that's funny.
Great idea.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so
I wish
who's
you could think of pop-up ideas
Pop-ups.
and actually be able to fund them too.
Right.
That's the next thing.
I have a ton of pop-up ideas, but yeah, having the money, that's another thing.
It's where things it just kind of comes to a screeching halt, right there. Anything else happening? I've been watching.
Let's see. We got Kevin Hart out. You know, this was kind of the first time he was
Yeah.
at People's Choice Awards. First time in front of a large audience.
He seemed like he was nervous is the wrong word. Like he was excited to be up there, but he seemed like he could, at the blink of an eye, he could have gotten extremely emotional. Like he was really just. He seemed very grateful.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, and
The
overwhelmed.
guy is super happy to be alive. So Paps caught him out like the next day and just said, "Hey, like, how do you feel? How, you know, being in front of the audience? You know, all this kind of questions, and also like, are you planning on making any changes to your cars, making it more safe?" And he's like, "You guys are asking the wrong questions. It is not about that. The question is, am I happy to be alive? Hell yeah, I'm happy to be alive. Let's start focusing on the positive stuff." Don't worry about my car. Don't worry about what it's like to now be in front of people. Like, let's just talk about moving forward and how fortunate we are to be here on the planet, basically.
Exactly.
So
I was
think
glad
he's got
to
a new
see that.
perspective on life.
Yeah, real because that accident when he had that accident, it was like the day after he just got that car, wasn't it?
It was something, like really close.
Really
after.
close. I mean, it was just like what, and it was that severe. How many fractures did he have in his spine?
I don't know, a lot.
It was like 3 or
I don't know, a lot.
it was
more.
yeah.
Even one
And
sucks.
it just,
lot.
but it just that's there.
I mean, how many fractures do you have? 1. That sucks. How many? 8. That sucks. It all sucks.
But it just happened in September, didn't it?
All of it is a lot.
It's all a lot. It didn't happen that long ago, and the fact that he was out, that's pretty remarkable.
No, there
I'll
was.
go with that.
Was it you that was telling me, or I saw it somewhere? Somebody told me that he didn't. That wreck didn't get turned in. Like there was no insurance claim, therefore no investigation. Rumor was that maybe he was he intoxicated? Was he drinking?
I have no
I could be.
idea.
I could be making.
He
that.
doesn't want you to focus on that. He wants you to focus on him being alive.
Somebody wasn't listening.
Got it. My bad.
As a pap, you should know better.
That's right. I'm a pap. I'm a pat, not a pap.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. So what about pictures? What can we find on Hollywood Pipeline for pictures?
Well, as for pictures, if you want to see Camila Cabello's big old booty, there's some of those.
Yeah.
Tight little jeans after her makeout session with Shawn Mendes at the Clipper game, which everyone's been talking about for the last couple of days. Their makeout session, because most people would love to sit courtside. These two just like sat courtside and didn't watch the game. They just sat there and made out. So a lot of people are like, "What are they doing?"
It's maddening. It almost is maddening because it's kind of like just thumbing their nose at everybody else around them. It's like, if that's all you're going to do, just stay home.
They're free tickets to them. Anyone else, you're paying $10,000. For them, it's like, here, guys, we have some spare tickets. You want to go to the game? Sure. It'll be front row makeout.
Right.
Yeah.
Courtside, third base.
Yeah. And nobody even remembers who played.
No.
Nobody even knows what was going on. No, thank you very much.
So, yeah, you want to check out her butt. It's on the website. Then there's some Ben Affleck. He's filming a new movie, Deep Water, in New Orleans. But, the big thing with him was that right around Halloween, he kind of had a relapse with alcohol.
I was going to ask you about that because I remember I saw the headline and I thought, no, really? He did?
That one bummed me out because I am rooting for him. Like, I want him to be successful. I want him to, you watched his life like essentially crumble in front of everyone with his divorce and, having to move out into the guest house at the mansion that he shared with Jen Gardner. And then, his girlfriend, Lindsay Shookus from SNL, she kind of was like, can't take this either. So it just seemed like his life has just been out of control. So I was rooting for him, sad to see him fall off, but that is very normal behavior for an addict, and they have to really want it themselves for it to be successful.
Right.
Like,
That's
no
sad.
one else is going to be able to keep that bottle of booze out of his hands but him.
Now, do you know, and I'm totally blindsiding you with this, as far as like Brad Pitt, I had heard some things about him lately too, as far as getting some help and getting his life back on track. And he kind of talking about him talking about his drinking, and that it had something to do with their breakup. And we'd heard that at the time. I know when
I was
when
going
they
to say
did
that. I
break
don't
up.
think that was any secret. I mean, they made it very clear that he had like pretty severe issues with substance abuse, and it got to the point where Angie was like, I don't want the kids around him. I need out of this. He needs to fix himself. He had even done that big, I think it was with GQ or something, big interview where he was like, I'm lonely. I'm at home. I'm trying to figure my crap out. But I don't know recently if he's had any big kind of interventions or anything.
I'm going from having 6 kids? Is that right? 6 kids, 5 kids, to all of a sudden being essentially alone, not being able to see your kids would be. Leave alcohol and whatever out of it. Just that alone would be something extremely hard.
It'd be hard.
Right. It'd be extremely hard to get used to, and to be sitting in a quiet house and not having anything to do, man, it'd drive you nuts.
Well, think about this. Like, for a normal human like us, we can leave the house, we can get outside and go shopping and do whatever we want. For Brad Pitt, I think your family is your world because you can't leave your house.
That's a good point.
You're always there. So the people that are closest to you is what you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
if they're all gone, you have nothing.
It's true.
a really good point.
And see, that gets my mind thinking, because we've talked, not to be flip or anything about this, but if you were stars, wouldn't you just want one big gated community that just stars can live in?
Like a city.
Remember, we go back to, was it J-Lo when she had the babies, or who was it that it was Beyonce, and they blocked off the entire 9th floor or whatever it is. And there was other people up there that were having babies too. And the baby daddies couldn't get upstairs because security. And it was just a big put off, I guess, really on everybody else that wanted to use that hospital. It's like, why don't we just have a hospital just for stars? So then they can go in.
Stars like to gossip too.
Yeah.
So,
and stars like to create a scene, and they like to be seen in places.
Yeah. So it's going to be Star Island over there.
Yes.
But then the housewives aren't going to be allowed there.
Yeah.
Because housewives can't live next to Beyonce.
Because they're like new money to the old money, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point.
There's got to be a lot of gates inside of gates at that place.
There seriously would.
Right.
It'd be like a big bullseye. You're going in to get to the middle where all the real superstars are. That's what it would be. Oh, that's crazy.
So what are you, you also do a podcast. What do you have coming up on your podcast, or recently have you done?
Yeah, we had Brandon Novak from Jackass fame. Do you remember him? He was in the
yes.
Jackass movies with
Yeah.
Bam and all of them. So he
I
came
just
on our
watched
podcast.
Jackass 2, I think, with my son about 3 weeks ago. I'd never seen that. Yeah, where they one of the
Scarred for life.
yeah,
now?
Bam's dad put an apple in his butt, and somebody ate it out of it, or a pig ate it out of his butt. Have you seen that one?
Oh my God.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah,
Again, I'm also scarred for life.
Yeah.
No, wait. You said
yeah.
that with Bennett?
with Bennett. Yeah,
What'd he say?
awesome.
Oh, okay.
He said, "You're a terrible father."
He's the one who's like, Dad, have you seen Jackass 2? I'm like, no. So I have now. I laughed. It was pretty
Bonding.
funny.
Oh my
was
God. Anyway, so how was he on the podcast?
So Brandon came on the podcast. He was I guess a heroin addict for like 12 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
Suffered with it. He has now been sober for the last 4 years. He's like a coach helping other people get clean and sober. But his story about hitting rock bottom and what that was to him was fascinating, you guys. The whole talk was fascinating because it's just a world I have no idea about. I didn't realize that there could be essentially a functioning heroin addict. You hear about functioning addicts when it's like alcohol.
Yeah.
You hear about like cocaine. But heroin to me just seems like it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And the guy was still out doing things. Yes, he ruined his pro skating career. He he was more interested in drugs than skating, and he could have been probably one of the best skaters on the planet. But the other side of it was, they started filming Jackass, and I was like, it was the crazier stuff you guys did obviously helped ratings. Did MTV ever kind of jump in and go, hey, this is getting a little out of control? Mm-hmm. We're seeing what you guys are doing. We obviously want the show to be wild, but all the things you're doing on the side to make this show wild are unhealthy. And he said, nope, MTV never jumped in.
Wow.
They just kind of turned a blind eye and said, hey, ratings are great. Let's keep it going. But I'm like, there's a reason that all these guys, Bam Margera, Brandon Novak, Ryan Dunn, like Steve-O, they all had major issues with substance abuse.
There's no way a show could get made like that and have the studio turn its back like it did anymore. I don't think that could ever happen again.
You don't know. I mean, that's the thing. That's like there was so much money rolling in. The Jackass movies brought in crazy money.
Yeah.
That they probably were like, well, if they're not killing themselves, then we're doing good.
You know what? Johnny Knoxville was on Dax, your brother Dax Shepard's podcast, and he was talking about he made over, I think he said like $110 million on that franchise, just himself personally. So you're right, that's I'm sure a drop in the bucket what the studio's made.
That's just like that replicates the story again, the Michael Jackson and the surroundings. Nobody was going to step in because they're making so much money with him just doing what he's doing, or in that case with those guys making those movies. Nobody wanted to change the formula because we might all just lose money. And I don't want to do that.
And I remember when Steve-O was like getting clean and sober, I myself was like, oh, is he still going to be as funny? And I'm like, wait. That is not the way to think about this.
Right.
It's not about whether or not I think Steve-O is funny. The guy needed help.
Yeah.
And, and I think that I look back at that moment and just go, wow, I talk about me being in the wrong place, and like thinking, worrying about his funniness level and not about his health.
I tell you what, though, for $109 million, I'd eat an apple out of anybody's butt.
Stop it.
Wouldn't you? For $109 million.
An apple.
Wow, that went dark awful fast.
Really
That
fast.
was really fast.
Like, oh my God, who are you guys?
I'll give you an IOU. Does that count?
Yeah, no. It's got to see the cash.
I want to know who's going to put who wants the apple there? That's in the first place. Who's going to be the holder?
Well,
how much money does that person get?
Million.
The headline of this podcast is not something I said.
That's right.
I would eat an apple out of someone's butt.
For enough money. No problem. Where can we find your podcast, Daxo?
You can search for it on iTunes. It's just the Hollywood Pipeline Podcast.
All the links are on your website, aren't they?
Yes, links on the website, and you can also go to kabc.com/HPP.
That's great.
Sweet.
What are you doing on TV lately?
What have I been doing? We did this 70s show thing
Yes.
the other day. So, basically going back to anything in the 70s and talking about the biggest movies of the decade.
I love
about
that.
the best toys, about the hottest TV moms. So it's fun for doing it for AXS TV, and they're just kind of, it's like one of those like pop culture shows where you do a countdown of the greatest things of the decade.
Honestly, the 70s and 80s are both target-rich subjects or decades. Both of them are. Yeah, definitely.
I wish I knew. I wasn't born in the 70s. Don't tell anyone.
You weren't even born in the 70s. You weren't even born in the 70s?
You didn't tickle the 70s? You weren't born?
What? he's grinning like from ear to ear. Oh my God.
I was born in the 80s.
When were you born?
82.
Oh, so kind of a couple knuckles deep in the 80s too. It wasn't like right there.
So, but the thing that I started to realize is when I was talking about all these TV shows and games, like a lot of them were super popular in the 80s. So it wasn't like I was.
This is true.
Stupid. I had watched all these Star Wars. I had seen all, the TV shows. They kind of transcend just the 70s.
Pat, just think about that you're watching Star Wars movies that were made before he was born.
Right. How odd is that?
Wow.
Who was the hottest TV mom that you brought up? Who
did we bring up? We brought up, well, obviously, God, who was it? Shoot, I filmed it.
You filmed it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I cannot
TV
remember.
moms from the 70s? Like, was that like Mrs. Brady?
Well, Miss Brady was on the list. There was
Florence
the lady
Henderson,
that was on. Oh my God! Now I can't remember anything, guys. It
Oh
was
my
so
God.
long ago.
You were tuned into the 70s when you were doing that. You let that go.
I was.
I understand.
Yeah, brain
it's like
dump.
it's like getting ready for a test.
Brain
You're
dump
super
it.
smart on Friday and Monday. You don't know a damn thing. Yeah.
That's my life. That isn't even school. That's my life.
Super Dex, thank you so much.
You're the man, Dax.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful week.
You too.
We'll see you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye-bye.
Oh my God.
Dax Holt, Hollywood Pipeline with us. Everything in our show notes too. You get all the links to Dax's podcast.
Absolutely.
All that fun stuff. So we appreciate Dax coming on. 402-403-9478. You can text us. You can leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Parkville Media Production.